The rain hammered the roof like God's own judgment. Each drop a reminder that nothing in this godforsaken Midwest town ever stayed buried. I was sprawled on the couch, shirtless and soaked from the storm I'd run through to get home, when Samuel's hands, those strong, calloused hands from his summer construction gigs, landed on my shoulders like a spark to dry tinder. "Dad," he whispered, voice cracking like thunder, "you're carrying the weight of the world again. Let me help." But in that moment, as his fingers dug in, I felt the first forbidden tremor, the kind that shatters families and souls alike. David Harlan had always been the rock of Harlan Heights, that sleepy suburb outside Chicago where the cornfields bled into strip malls and everyone knew your sins before you confessed them. At 45, I was the widowed cop with the badge that still gleamed but a heart that had dulled to rust since Sarah's car accident 3 years back. She was the glue, the one who smoothed the edges between me and her son from her first marriage. Samuel, the kid who'd shown up on our doorstep at 16, all sharp angles and guarded eyes, like a stray wolf pup wary of the hand that feeds. I tried. God, I tried to be the father he needed, coaching his little league teams even after he outgrew them, fixing his beat-up Ford when it coughed like a smoker in the garage. But blood? Nah, that was a line we never crossed, or so I told myself. Samuel was 22 now, home from his first year at the University of Illinois, majoring in something artsy like graphic design that made my old man brain spin. He'd bulked up over the semester, shoulders broad from hauling lumber at odd jobs, arms veined like the roots of an old oak. His dark hair fell in waves that begged for a trim, and those hazel eyes, Sarah's eyes, held a depth that could drown you if you stared too long. He was gay. I'd known since he was 17, when I found that crumpled magazine under his mattress, the one with the shirtless models that wasn't exactly Sports Illustrated. We never talked about it. Not once. In Harlan Heights, words like that were landmines, and I wasn't about to blow up what little family we had left. That stormy Friday in June, the kind where the sky turns bruise purple and the air smells like ozone and regret, I got the call from dispatch. Another domestic out on Elm Street, some drunk dad swinging at his kid over a report card. By the time I wrestled the guy into cuffs, my back was screaming, a knot of fire from the old injury that never quite healed after Sarah's funeral, when I lifted her casket like it weighed nothing. The drive home was a blur of wipers slapping rhythmically, my uniform clinging like a second skin, soaked through. Samuel was in the kitchen when I stumbled in, the screen door banging behind me like an accusation. He looked up from the stove, where a pot of chili bubbled, his mom's recipe, the one he made whenever he sensed I was fraying at the edges. "Jesus, David, you look like you drowned in Lake Michigan." His voice was light, teasing, but his eyes scanned me like he was cataloging wounds. He always did that, ever since he was a kid, reading me better than I read myself. "Yeah, well, the storm didn't ask permission," I grunted, peeling off my shirt and tossing it over a chair. The cool air hit my skin, raising goosebumps, and I rolled my shoulders, wincing as the knot twisted deeper. "Think I pulled something?" Again, he set down the wooden spoon, wiping his hands on a dish towel slung over his shoulder. Up close, he smelled like fresh soap and the faint citrus of his shampoo, the kind Sarah used to buy in bulk from Costco. "Sit," he said, not a request. Before I could protest, he was steering me to the living room couch, the old leather creaking under my weight. The TV flickered with some mindless cop show, irony at its finest, casting blue shadows across the room. I sank back, eyes half closed, the exhaustion hitting like a freight train. Chili smells good, kid. You add the secret spice. Secret's out. It's love, he quipped. But there was a hitch in his tone, something vulnerable peeking through the cracks. Then, without warning, his hands were on me. Warm, firm, pressing into the meat of my traps with a confidence that spoke of YouTube tutorials and too many late nights worrying about the old man back home. Samuel, I started, but the word dissolved as his thumbs circled a pressure point, sending a jolt straight down my spine. It wasn't just relief. It was electricity, the kind that buzzes under your skin and makes you question every goddamn boundary you'd ever drawn. Shoo. Just breathe, Dad. His breath ghosted my ear, close enough that I could feel the heat of him. Dad. The word twisted in my gut, innocent on his lips but laced with something darker in the dim light. I should have stopped it then, pulled away, cracked a joke about boundaries or fetched my own beer from the fridge. But I didn't. I leaned into it, into him, the rain outside a curtain hiding us from the world. His hands worked lower, mapping the ridges of my back like he was memorizing a forbidden map. Stories spilled out between us then, the way they always did when the walls came down. Me venting about the Elm Street call, how the kid's eyes mirrored Samuel's at that age, wide and terrified. Him confessing the campus hookups that left him emptier than before, the guys who saw his body but not his soul. They think it's easy, you know, being me. But it's like walking a tightrope over hell every day. I twisted to look at him, our faces inches apart, his knees bracketing my hips from behind. Rain lashed the windows, thunder rumbling like a warning. You're stronger than they know, Sam. Stronger than me. The words hung heavy, and in that silence, his fingers stilled on my lower back, just above the waistband of my jeans. Our eyes locked, and I saw it, the hunger, the fear, the mirror of my own buried ache. Then he leaned in, not with hands but with lips brushing my shoulder, soft as a prayer. David, he murmured, dropping the dad like a shed skin. What if I don't want to be strong alone? The world tilted. My heart hammered, a traitor's drumbeat, as I turned fully, cupping his jaw, rough stubble meeting calluses, and pulled him into a kiss that tasted like chili spices and salt from unshed tears. It was wrong, every inch of it, a violation of the vows I'd made to Sarah's ghost. But in that storm-swept living room, with the boy, no, the man, I'd raised pressing against me like salvation, wrong felt like the only truth left. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, the air thick with what we'd unleashed. This. We can't, I whispered, even as my hands tangled in his hair, holding him close. We already did, Samuel replied, voice fierce, eyes blazing. And just like that, the line blurred to nothing, pulling us under. The next morning dawned sticky and humid, the kind of Illinois summer that clings like guilt. I woke alone on the couch, a throw blanket draped over me. Samuel's doing, no doubt with the taste of him lingering like a bruise. Coffee brewed in the kitchen, strong and black, the way I liked it, and there he was at the counter, scrolling his phone in nothing but boxers and a faded Cubs tee, legs kicked out like he belonged. Which he did. God help me, he did. Morning. Handsome, he said without looking up, a smirk playing on his lips that made my stomach flip. I cleared my throat, busying myself with a mug. About last night. Don't. He set the phone down, crossing to me in 2 strides, backing me against the sink. His hands framed my face, thumbs tracing my cheekbones. Don't regret it, David. Not yet. Just feel it. I wanted to argue, to list the reasons this was a grenade with the pin pulled me, his stepdad, him, the kid I'd sworn to protect, the town that'd tar and feather us both. But his mouth on mine silenced the litany, slow and deep, like he was staking a claim. By noon, we'd christened the shower, water sluicing over us as I learned the map of his body, the freckles across his collarbone, the sensitive hollow behind his knee. It was frantic, reverent, a baptism in sin. Days blurred into a secret rhythm. Mornings were domestic normalcy. Samuel sketching at the breakfast table while I scanned the paper, our feet tangling under it like co-conspirators. Afternoons, he'd drag me to the garage for repairs, but it was code for hands on skin, laughter echoing off concrete walls as we stole moments from the sun. Nights, under the covers of my king bed, Sarah's bed, the guilt whispered, we moved slower, exploring the tenderness we'd both starved for. He called me love in the dark, and I traced the scars on his knuckles from bar fights he never started, whispering apologies for a world that sharpened its knives on boys like him. But secrets in Harlan Heights, they fester like untreated wounds. My partner at the station, Mike Riley, noticed first the distracted stares during briefings, the way I'd bail early on poker nights with excuses about family stuff. You got a girl on the side, Harlan, or is it the whiskey talking? He'd rib, clapping my shoulder too hard. Worse was Samuel's circle. His old high school buddy, Tyler, blew into town for the 4th. All beer gut and bro code bullshit, crashing on our couch without asking. Tyler was straight as an arrow, the kind who quoted Bible verses at drag shows for laughs, and Samuel tensed like a wire every time the guy slung an arm around him. Remember that time in the locker room? Sammy, you were always the pretty one. The words landed like shrapnel, and I'd bite my tongue bloody from the kitchen, knuckles white on a beer. One night, after too many shots of Jack around the fire pit, sparks flying up like accusations, Tyler cornered me by the grill. Heard Sammy's playing for the other team now. College changed him. Huh? You keep an eye on that shit, Dave. Don't want it rubbing off. Rage boiled low, but I swallowed it, forcing a laugh. Kid's his own man. Ty. Worry about your own swing, but inside, the fear gnawed. Exposure, judgment, the end of everything we'd just begun to build. Samuel overheard, of course. He found me later in the garage, tools scattered from a half-hearted engine tune-up. He's an asshole, he spat, kicking a wrench across the floor. Always has been. But you defended me. Like it was nothing. Because it is nothing, I lied, pulling him close. You're everything. Our kiss was desperate. Bodies slamming against the workbench, tools clattering like applause. But as he arched under me, whispering my name like a litany, I felt the first crack, the betrayal not from him, but from fate itself, whispering that this bliss was borrowed time. July unfurled like a fever dream, the air thick with cicada hum and the scent of cut grass from neighbors' lawns. Samuel and I danced on the edge of discovery, our love a tightrope over the abyss. We'd sneak away to the old quarry on the town's outskirts, a gravel pit turned lover's lane for the straight kids, where we'd park my truck under the stars and lose ourselves in the cab. His laughter would echo off the rocks as he straddled me, hands roaming free, and I'd bury my face in his neck, inhaling the musk of him like it could anchor me against the storm I knew was coming. "You're my safe harbor, David," he'd murmur, tracing the laugh lines around my eyes. Lines Sarah used to tease me about, calling them victory scars from too many stakeouts. With him, they felt like badges of a different war, one fought in the quiet hours when doubt clawed at my chest. Was I stealing his youth, grooming him in ways I'd arrest another man for? Or was this redemption, two broken souls fusing under the weight of loss? He opened up more in those stolen nights, peeling back layers I'd never touched. The bullying in high school, lockers slammed on fingers for holding hands with a crush who ghosted him after one kiss. The coming out fight with his bio dad, Sarah's ex, a deadbeat trucker who'd sneered over the phone. "You're no son of mine." Samuel's voice would tremble then, but his grip on me tightened, fierce and unyielding. "You never made me feel like that. You saw me, even when I was hiding." I'd hold him through the shakes, my cop's instincts screaming to hunt down every ghost that haunted him, to cuff them and throw away the key. But all I could offer was my body as shield, my heart as vow. "I'll fight for you, Sam." Every damn day. Yet the world conspired against us. My shifts stretched longer, overtime piling up as summer crime spiked, petty thefts turning to B&ES, whispers of a meth ring bubbling under the surface. Home became our sanctuary, but even there, cracks showed. Sarah's sister, Aunt Lena, called from Florida, her voice syrupy with concern. "How's my boy holding up? And you, David, any ladies on the horizon? Sarah'd want you happy." I'd mumble platitudes, Samuel eavesdropping from the hall with a wry smile. But it stung, a reminder of the facade we maintained. Then came the barbecue, the annual Harlan Heights block party that turned our cul-de-sac into a red, white, and blue circus. Flags snapped in the breeze, kids chased fireworks, and grill smoke hung like a veil over small-town sins. Samuel manned the cooler, passing brews with easy charm, but I caught the side-eyes Mrs. Kowalski from across the street, her lips pursed as she watched him flirt harmlessly with the mailman, a closeted queen if ever there was one. Mike Riley cornered me by the cornhole boards, solo cup sloshing. "Spill it, Harlan. You've been glowing like a damn firefly." "What's the secret?" I shrugged, tossing a bag that sailed wide. "Good sleep, maybe. Or the chili." Sam's got the touch. He barked a laugh, but his eyes narrowed. "Yeah, about that. Saw you two at the quarry last week. Truck was rocking like a quake. Hope it's not what I think." Ice flooded my veins. "Mind your business, Mike. It's family time." "Fair enough." He clapped my back. But the seed was planted, doubt sprouting like weeds. That night, as fireworks boomed overhead, Samuel pulled me into the shadows of our garage, his mouth hot and insistent. "Missed you today," he growled, hands unbuckling my belt with practiced ease. We didn't make it inside, against the wall, urgent and muffled, the explosions masking our gasps. But as he came undone in my arms, whispering, "I love you," for the first time, I tasted ash on my tongue. Love. The word was a bomb, ticking down. The betrayal hit a week later, swift as a sucker punch. Tyler, that snake, hadn't left town clean. He'd posted on Facebook, a blurry pic from the fire pit, Samuel mid-laugh, captioned "Back with the fam in HH, Sammy's still the golden boy. Wonder what Mom would say now? Small town secrets. Comments flooded in. Emojis of rainbows turned knives. Old classmates piling on with, "Wait, he's?" And knew it, always pranced a bit. Samuel saw it first. Phone slipping from his hand during breakfast. His face drained white, then flushed crimson. Fuck. Tyler. That bastard. He must have screenshotted something. I snatched the device. Scrolling the vitriol. My cop brain cataloging threats veiled as jokes. It's bullshit. We'll delete. Block. No. He stood. Chair scraping. It's out. David. The whole town's gonna know I'm the fag stepson now. And you. God. If they link it, they won't. But the lie tasted bitter. By noon, my radio crackled at the station. Harlan, Chief wants you in his office. Now, Chief Mallory, a grizzled vet with a mustache like a broom and zero patience for personal drama, slid a printout across his desk, the same post, circled in red. Explain, he grunted, eyes hard. It's my stepson, sir. Ex's kid. Some asshole stirring shit. He leaned back, chair creaking. I don't give a damn about fairy tales, David. But optics, in this town, you're the face of law and order. Keep your house clean, or it'll cost you. The drive home was a gauntlet. Neighbors' stares through curtains, a minivan swerving wide like I carried plague. Samuel waited on the porch, duffel half-packed at his feet. I can't stay. Not like this. I'll crash with a buddy in Champaign. Finish the semester. No, I killed the engine, storming out to grip his arms. You're not running. We face this together. His laugh was hollow, tears streaking. Together, you're the straight-laced cop, David. I'm the scandal. What happens when they whisper about us? About this? He gestured between us, the invisible thread fraying. Then we burn it down and build better. I kissed him there, on the porch for the world to see, defiant as the devil. A curtain twitched next door, but fuck him. He melted into me, duffel forgotten, and for a moment, we were unbreakable. But Mallory's warning echoed. Shifts turned hostile, whispers in the locker room. Harlan's got a live one at home, paired with winks that curdled my gut. Mike pulled away, lunches skipped, his texts curt. Samuel withdrew too, sketching furiously in his room, emerging only for meals where conversation died like embers. The quarry visits stopped. Intimacy became hurried, shadowed by the fear that eyes were always watching. One humid night, after a double shift chasing ghosts of that meth ring, I came home to silence. Samuel was in the kitchen, phone to his ear, voice low and laced with something that twisted my insides. Flirtation? Yeah. Next weekend sounds perfect. Can't wait to explore. He hung up as I entered, face flushing. Just a study group thing. Project partner. I nodded, but the seed Mike planted bloomed into paranoia. Who was this partner? Some college jock with abs and no baggage. The kind Samuel deserved? That night in bed, as he curled away, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, wondering if love was just another word for loss. The climax brewed slow, then erupted on a sweltering August eve. I'd busted the meth op, a raid gone sideways, bullet grazing my vest, leaving bruises that bloomed purple across my ribs. Samuel patched me up in the bathroom, hands gentle but eyes distant, The phone buzzing ignored on the sink. "You're reckless," he chided, dabbing antiseptic. "What if you'd? Can't think like that." I caught his wrist, pulling him close. "Need you, Sam. All of you." He hesitated, then surged forward, kiss bruising. We tumbled to the bedroom, clothes shed in a frenzy, bodies slick with sweat and unspoken fears. It was raw, reclaiming him on top, riding the wave of my groans, our rhythms sinking like a heartbeat. "I love you," he gasped, collapsing onto me, spent and trembling. "I know," I whispered, holding tight. But as his breathing evened, I glimpsed the phone screen lighting up. A text from Jay, "Can't wait for Chicago." "Pack the toys?" Winking face, betrayal, sharp as shattered glass. Jay, the project partner? My chest caved, rage and hurt colliding. I slipped from bed, dressing in the dark, the house creaking like it mourned with me. Morning brought confrontation. Samuel woke to me at the kitchen table, printout of the texts, snuck from his phone while he slept, a violation I'd regret forever. His face crumpled. "David, it's not. Who the fuck is Jay?" "Samuel? Some hookup to forget the mess we're in." My voice cracked, fists clenched. "It's Jake. From art class. We met up once, after Tyler's post. I was scared. Okay. Scared I'd ruin you." "Ruin me?" I laughed, bitter. "You think a small-town scandal scares me more than losing you?" Tears streamed. "I thought I was protecting us. But it was a mistake. One night, nothing like us." The lie hung. But worse was the truth beneath. Doubt had infected us both. I stormed out, tires screeching, straight to the station where Mallory waited with reassignment papers. Desk duty, effective immediately. "Clean house, Harlan. Or pack yours." Days blurred into silence. Samuel stayed, but the air crackled with unspoken accusations. He deleted the app, swore off campus flings, but trust, once cracked, leaks slow. We made love like penance, tender and tear-streaked, but the ghost of Jake lingered, a specter of what-ifs. September crept in with crisp edges, leaves turning gold like the false promise of autumn renewal. Harlan Heights buzzed with back-to-school fervor, buses rumbling down Main, parents herding kids in crisp uniforms. But our home felt like a tomb, echoes of laughter replaced by the hum of the fridge and the tick of the wall clock. Samuel returned to Champaign mid-month, his Ford loaded with sketches and regrets, our goodbye kiss at the door tasting of salt and severance. "This isn't over," he vowed, hand on my cheek. "We'll fix it." I nodded, throat tight, watching taillights fade into the dusk. Fix it. Like love was a busted taillight, not a heart flayed open. Desk duty chained me to paperwork. Mallory's watchful eye a constant reminder. Toe the line, or walk the plank. Mike thawed slightly, sliding a coffee across during a slow shift. Heard about the stepkid drama. Rough break, man. But hey, plenty of fish, straight ones, if you're shopping. His joke landed flat, but it cracked the ice. We talked then, haltingly, about his own divorce, the loneliness that gnaws like termites. Family's messy, Dave. But it's all we got. Wisdom from a guy who'd once bet his wedding ring on a Cubs World Series win. Stuck, a lifeline in the fog. Samuel's texts came steady. Photos of campus quad, latte art hearts, Voice notes husky with "Miss your voice. Your hands. Your everything." I'd reply from the patrol car on lunch breaks, parked by the quarry, fingers tracing the wheel where his had once gripped. But Jake's shadow loomed. I'd catch myself scrolling his Insta, artsy shots of urban decay, bio screaming free spirit. No strings. No strings. That's what scared me most. The real storm hit in October, wind-whipped and relentless, mirroring the one that started it all. A call came through dispatch, not mine to take, but Mike patched it. Multi-car pileup on I-90, Samuel's route home for fall break. My heart seized. I grabbed keys, Mallory's protests fading as I blew out of the lot, siren whooping like a banshee. The scene was chaos, twisted metal, flares pulsing red, medics swarming like ants. Samuel's Ford was crumpled against a semi, hood accordioned, airbags bloomed like fungi. I shoved through, badge flashing, until I reached him, slumped over the wheel, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead, but breathing, thank Christ, breathing. "Sam!" I roared, yanking the door as jaws of life whirred nearby. His eyes fluttered, hazel dimmed but locking on mine. "David." "Fuck. It hurts. Hang on, kid. I'm here." Paramedics pulled me back, but I held his hand through the bars, calluses rough against my palm, until they loaded him onto the stretcher. The ER wait was purgatory, coffee sludge in styrofoam. Lena calling frantic from Florida. "Is he stable?" I lied, pacing linoleum scuffed by 1,000 tragedies. He woke groggy under fluorescence, for dripping, monitors beeping a mechanical lullaby. "You came," he croaked, smile faint. "Where else?" I sank into the chair, exhaustion carving hollows under my eyes. Scared the shit out of me. Guilt flickered. The texts. I blocked him. For good. It was stupid. David, a rebound from fear. But you're it. You're home. The confession cracked me open. I leaned in, kissing his knuckles, the metallic tang of hospital air be damned. "I know. And I'm sorry for snooping, for doubting. We're in this, Sam. All the way." Recovery was a grind. Stitches itching, ribs taped from the Dash's kiss. Physical therapy twice a week at the VA clinic where I pulled strings for priority. Samuel crashed at home, our routine reborn but fragile, me cooking breakfasts of eggs over easy, him sketching me from the table, capturing the worry lines I couldn't hide. Intimacy returned tentative. A hand on my thigh during movie nights, lips brushing in the laundry room, building to nights where we'd map each other anew, scars and all, whispering affirmations against skin. But Harlan Heights doesn't forgive easy. Gossip Mills ground on, the accident fodder for that queer kid's karma, scrawled on our mailbox in Sharpie. Tyler resurfaced with a half-assed apology text to Samuel. "Heard about the wreck. Sucks, bro. Call if you need." Deleted unread. Worse was the station. Mallory summoning me post-shift. Face thunderous. Anonymous tip. "Harlan. Says you're involved with him." My blood iced. "Sir. It's save it. Suspension pending investigation. Take the leave. Sort your shit." The door slammed like a guillotine. Home. I unloaded on Samuel over takeout lo mein, chopsticks snapping in my fist. "They're coming for us." I sniffing around. Mallory's got the pitchfork. He paled, but fire sparked. Then we fight. Tell them the truth. I'm an adult. You're everything. Fuck the town. Easier said, but his resolve ignited mine. We called Lena that night, speakerphone crackling with her gasp. David? Samuel? Oh, honey. Tears. Then acceptance. Sarah knew he was gay. She'd want you happy. Both of you. Her blessing, hard won, felt like armor. The investigation dragged. 2 weeks of taped interviews. Mike stonewalling as my character witness. Harlan solid. Families private. End of. But the climax crested at the town hall meeting, called under guise of community safety. But everyone knew. Agenda Item 6. Concerns re. Local law enforcement integrity. The auditorium reeked of popcorn and malice. Folding chairs scraping as Mallory took the mic. Allegations against Officer Harlan. Personal conduct compromising department standards. Murmurs swelled. I sat front row. Samuel's hand hidden in mine under the armrest. His grip a vice. Then Tyler stood. Face flushed from the back. I got proof. Saw him at the quarry. Stepdad and stepson. Getting it on like animals. Disgusting. Gasps rippled. My stomach churned. But Samuel squeezed. Let me. He rose. Voice steady despite the tremor I felt. Tyler's lying. We're half right. Yeah. I'm gay. And yeah. I love David not as a son, but as a man. He raised me when my own dad bailed. Loved me when the world said not to. If that's a crime in Harlan Heights, then arrest us both. Silence. Then chaos. Claps from the back, where the librarian and the florist exchanged nods. Boos from the Bible thumpers. Tyler's ilk. Mallory banged the gavel, but the tide turned. Mrs. Kowalski stood. Boys right. David's kept this town safe 20 years. Leave the family be. One by one. Voices joined. A chorus of unlikely allies. The mailman winking. Love's love. Chief. The meeting dissolved in uproar. But the verdict came swift. Cleared. With a slap-on-wrist warning. Mallory pulled me aside after. Keep it off my desk. Harlan. But. Congrats. I guess. We drove home under streetlights. Samuel's head on my shoulder at a red. We did it, he breathed. Not yet, but hope flickered, real as the dashboard glow. Winter whispered in with first snows, blanketing sins in white. Samuel aced midterms remotely, his art portfolio blooming with pieces of us. Abstract swirls of blue and gold. Titled Harbor. I got promoted to sergeant. Mallory's gruff toast at the pinning. Don't fuck it up. Lover boy. Mike hosted a awkward but warm dinner. His wife pressing pie on Samuel. Any man who tames David gets extra. Betrayal's scar faded. But it taught us vigilance, love not blind, but eyes wide. We traveled for Christmas. A cabin in the up, where lake-effect snow sealed us in. There, by a crackling fire, Samuel knelt, not in supplication, but proposal, a simple silver band glinting. Marry me, David. Not for show for us, tears blurred. Yes. God, yes. The ceremony was small. Spring equinox in a Chicago courthouse. Lena officiating via Zoom. Rainbow flags fluttering from the window. Vows exchanged. In storm and calm. I choose you. Rings slipped on. Sealing the pact. Summer 26 rolled in humid and hopeful. 2 years since that first massage cracked the dam. Samuel graduated with honors. His thesis, a graphic novel of fractured families mending, dedicated to D, my anchor and storm. I walked him across the quad stage, badge traded for a tie. Our kiss post-diploma drawing whoops from his queer cohort and stony glares from Suits. Harlan Heights had thawed unevenly. Some doors locked, others swung wide with potluck invites and "proud of you" scrawled on cards. We bought a fixer-upper on the edge of town. A craftsman with creaky floors and a yard begging for roses, Sarah's favorite. Weekends blurred into sweat-soaked renos. Samuel wielding a paint roller like a sword, me hammering studs, our bodies sinking in the chaos. "Think we can make this a home?" he'd ask, smudged with blue, leaning into my tool belt. "Already is," I'd reply, pulling him down onto drop cloths for dust-kissed trysts, laughter echoing off bare walls. But peace is fragile, etched in the American dream's fine print. The betrayal resurfaced not from Jake, long forgotten, a campus footnote, but from within, a ghost named Regret. Samuel's art took off. A Chicago gallery scooped his book, launch party pulling us into the city's glitter. He thrived there, networking with ink-stained visionaries, eyes alight with dreams I'd never dimmed but couldn't fully chase. I lagged, roots deep in badge and soil. Nights he'd return buzzing from openings, perfume of strangers on his collar, mail, always mail, the city's pulse, a siren's call. Met this curator, Alex, he'd gush over takeout. Wants to collab on a series. Thinks my style's raw, authentic. "Proud of you," I'd say, forcing smile, but the knot in my gut twisted. Alex was all sharp suits and sharper wit. Insta a parade of shirtless retreats and abstract nudes. Harmless, Samuel swore, but memories of texts, of doubt's poison, seeped back. The conflict crested in July, heat wave baking the Midwest to brittle. A call pulled me to the city, stakeout on a gallery heist ring, my sergeant stripes earning the lead. Samuel tagged along for inspiration, sketching the neon sprawl from my unmarked sedan. Post-bust, adrenaline high, we hit his launch after-party at a loft in Wicker Park. Exposed brick, fairy lights strung like veins, bass thumping through bodies packed tight. He shone, circulating with effortless grace, my hand lost in the crowd. I nursed a whiskey at the bar, watching Alex drape an arm over Samuel's shoulder, lips to ear in confidential murmur. Laughter pealed, genuine, and something primal snarled in my chest. Possession, fear, the cop's instinct to cuff threats. By midnight, I was 3 drinks deep, cornering him in a shadowed hall. Having fun. Superstar, his brow furrowed. "David? Yeah, it's amazing. You okay? That your collab buddy? Looks cozy." The words slurred slight, jealousy a venom I'd sworn off. He stiffened. "Alex, it's networking." Jesus, not this again. Again? Like Jake 2.0, the accusation flew, low and lethal. Hurt flashed. "Fuck you. I deleted that life for us. You're the one doubting, always the cop, interrogating love." We stormed out separate, me to the car in a haze, him Ubering home. The drive was torture, radio static mocking my roar. Home. He waited on the porch, arms crossed. "We need to talk." Really talk. Inside, over decaf, his concession to my buzz, the floodgates cracked. "I see you slipping away, Sam. The city, the art, it's pulling you where I can't follow." Bullshit. Tears welled. "I'm building for us," A life bigger than Harlan Heights. But you're scared. Of me outshining, or just of losing control. The truth gutted. Both. And yeah, terrified you'll wake up and see the old man I am. Tired. Duck. Not enough. He cupped my face, thumbs wiping salt. You're everything. But love isn't a cage, David. It's wings. We made up slow. In the bedroom's hush. Apologies murmured against collarbones. Bodies reconnecting with deliberate grace. Him guiding my hands. Showing trust rebuilt brick by brick. Dawn found us tangled. His head on my chest. Promise me. We fly together. Promise. But promises bend under weight. Fall brought tours. Samuel's book signing in New York. Me tagging for a long weekend. The skyline a vertigo of glass and ambition. He networked feverishly. I played supportive shadow. But isolation nod. Hotel bar chats with off-duty badges. Swapping war stories while he posed for photos. One night, post-reading, he vanished into an afterglow mingle. I found him later, flushed, Alex's card tucked in his pocket. Just business, he insisted, but the seed sprouted thorns. Back home, the quarry called a pilgrimage, truck idling under harvest moon. Remember our first time here? He asked, hand on my thigh. Like yesterday, I killed the engine, pulling him across the console for a kiss that tasted of nostalgia and need. It escalated. Frantic, clothes shoved aside, him in my lap, the cab fogging with our breaths. You're mine, I growled, possessive edge sharpening as he arched, crying my name. Yours, he echoed, but in afterglow, vulnerability spilled. David. What if I want more? A studio in the city. Part-time. The question hung. A chasm. Then we make it work. Commute. Weekends, whatever. His smile was grateful, but doubt lingered. A third wheel in our bed. Thanksgiving thawed the rift. Lena visiting with pies and probing questions. You two glow. But David's face, storm clouds. On. Spill. Over turkey. Samuel confessed the city pull. I admitted the anchor's drag. She mediated. Wise as oaks. Compromise ain't weakness. It's the glue. We planned. A Pide Terra in Chicago. Me rotating shifts. Him teaching workshops locally. Excitement rebuilt bridges. Holiday lights twinkling like approvals. Climax loomed unbidden. December's chill biting. A blizzard trapped us in the city apartment. First snow dusting the loop. Us snowed in with takeout and wine. Cozy turned confessional. Samuel admitting Alex's advances. Rebuffed but persistent. He wants the collab. And me. But I told him, I'm taken. Rage flared. But cooler now. Why not cut ties? Fear. Of burning bridges in this world. It's cutthroat. David, one wrong no. And doors slam. I paced the loft. City lights mocking. Our bridge is the only one that matters. Tell him, or I will. He did. Next morning via email, professional severance. No room for misreads. Alex's reply was curt. Your loss. Good luck with domestic bliss. Relief washed, but unearthed deeper rot. My own betrayal, subtle as rust. Late shifts. I'd linger at O'Malley's, nursing pints with Mike. Eyes wandering to the bartender, a lithe rookie with a crooked grin. Flirtation. Harmless vents. Wife's out of town again. But it was escape. From the fear Samuel might outgrow me. Guilt confessed one sleet-lashed night. Me on bended knee in our kitchen, not proposal redux, but atonement. I've been weak too. Staring at what-ifs. When you're my if and only. He pulled me up. Kiss forgiving. We're human. Love. Flawed as fuck. But together, unbreakable. Winter waned. Spring stirring with renewal. We hosted a commitment vow renewal backyard. Under blooming dogwoods. Friends from both worlds. Mike toasting to loves that surprise. The mailman quipping, finally legal. Vows renewed. Through doubt and storm. I choose you every messy, beautiful inch. Years folded like well-worn pages. Time's mercy on a love hard-forged. By 2030, Samuel's graphic novels lined bookstore shelves nationwide. Tales of queer resilience. Stepfamily sagas that hit bestseller lists and sparked TED Talks. Harbor Hearts, the first, optioned for an indie film. Its premiere in Sundance drawing us to Park City. Red carpet awkward but electric. His hand in mine under flashes. I retired from the force at 50. Badge handed over with Mallory's gruff. You earned it. Harlan, now go live. We split time. The Craftsman our hearth. Chicago loft our pulse. Mornings in Harlan Heights. Coffee on the porch watching deer in the yard. Evenings in the city. Gallery crawls where he'd critique with passion. Me nodding. Content in his orbit. Intimacy evolved. Less firestorm. More ember glow. Lazy Sundays in sheets. His fingers tracing my graying temples. My lips mapping the laugh lines he'd earned from book tours. Betrayals? They scarred but didn't define. Jake became a punchline. Alex a faded contact. My O'Malley glances. A lesson in fidelity's quiet vigilance. Conflicts arose. His wanderlust clashing my rootedness. A near miss when a European residency tempted, but we navigated with therapy. A queer counselor in Boys Town who called our dynamic, beautifully unconventional. Stepfathers and sons? Nah. Your husbands. Equals. The humanistic turn came gradual. Ripples from our stone. Samuel mentored at the local high school. Art classes for LGBTQ+ youth. His story a beacon. Love found me in the unlikeliest arms. Don't hide, claim it. I volunteered with PFLAG. Awkward at first in my flannel amid rainbow teas. But sharing our massage origin tale sanitized. Of course, Drew nods. Tears. You gave him a home, one mom said. And he gave you life. Harlan Heights shifted slow. A microcosm of America's grind, Tyler, reformed by his own divorce, showed up at a signing with apologies and a dog-eared copy. Bought this for my nephew. He's like you were. Forgiveness, not absolution, but progress. Climax revisited in Crisis's guise. Summer 32. A health scare. My annual checkup yielding prostate irregularity. Biopsy looming like a shadow. Samuel held vigil in the sterile wait. His sketchpad idle for once. Whatever it is, we face it, he said. Voice steel wrapped in velvet. Benign. Praise God, the lump a false alarm. But it stripped us bare. Hospital bed confessions. Fears of leaving him widowed young. His terror of a world without my growl. You started as my stepdad, he whispered. Became my lover, my partner. Don't you dare leave before husband. We emerged tighter. Vowing adventures. A road trip down Route 66. Diners and motels echoing our youth. A cruise to Alaska. Whales breaching like metaphors for depths we'd plumbed. The ending? Not a period, but ellipsis open. Human. On our 10th anniversary, back in that storm-swept living room, rain pattering like applause, Samuel set up a massage table, oils warming. "Full circle," he murmured, hands on my shoulders, now softer with age but no less sure. I leaned back, eyes closing. "Couldn't believe what happened next," I echoed our origin, pulling him down for a kiss that spanned decades. Life's not fairy tale. It's frayed denim, mended strong. In America's heartland, where judgments harden like clay but hearts soften under sun, we carved our story, not perfect, but profoundly ours. Samuel, my stepson turned soulmate. Me, the cop who learned love's the real law. And in each other's arms, under Midwest skies, we found grace, not in endings, but in the endless next. As the rain eased to drizzle, his whisper sealed it. "Forever, David. Forever, Sam."